all over power-up, and one Nyx killed all 3 because of a double telefrag and one gauntlet.
But that is
it.
how dangerous it can be, though. Like, that is how quickly it can slip through your fingertips and into this champion select. I mean, that's exactly what we kind of expected to see from my Totem tellies. And is that going to be a similar lineup? It seems to be. So that's kind of exactly what we expected. Blood Covenant. So this is it. Losers bracket final. The
Losers bracket finals. Didn't know that was a word.
Low. I was going to say lower and then losers at the same time, and then you know the rest.
You do that to me far too many
make
times.
it so awkward.
It was just my time for revenge, mate. But the lineup being pretty much exactly the same, I feel like Totem tellies are going to be fresh off a match they've just played, so they, their hands are still warm. In effect, keyboard's still ready to be pressed. They're pretty much riding what they essentially just played. They're going straight into the next match. That is going to be somewhat of an advantage for them, just being fresh and ready. Sometimes teams can be known to sort of take a round to get going, and we see sometimes 100-0 because the team they start to warm up. It's a warm up round.
We've
they don't
actually
really
seen
want
a lot more 100-0, so they're not expected to. I mean, at this level of play, you kind of just don't expect to see it, but we have. Like a lot, which is kind of not what we really expected to see. But, it can happen to, sometimes you might have a bad day. Sometimes you might just be playing as a complete unit to a ridiculous degree. But this is losers bracket final. The winner gets to grand finals, losers side, where they'll face off against Modus Operandi for that qualifying spot. Dreamhack Winter, that is what it's all about. They're playing for a huge, huge prize pot there, and they're just potentially a few matches of Quake Champions away from securing that.
In a very small turnaround time of 1 week, though, watching Totem tellies last week to this week, there has actually been a clear, distinct increase in just their ability to play well as a team. So I think it really shows that what a week of grinding can do for you and the rest of your team in a game like this, which is as new as Quake Champions is. So Totem tellies, they're running a lot of momentum, fresh off a match they've just played. It didn't go in their favor, but just flying straight in there. So, I mean, that is a great start. I actually think using the Berserk at the very beginning of Sacrifice, it's like your highest chance of actually getting a Berserk kill is probably going to be at the very beginning, where no one has an LG, no one has a weapon they could probably challenge you with before you get point blank, and they're least likely to expect it as well.
The problem is, it does mean that you're not going to have the Berserk to contest when the soul actually spawns. Because if you use it at the start, the first soul being there at 20 seconds means that you just aren't going to be able to cool down in time to have the Berserk to contest when it spawns. However, you might be able to keep one of the opponents away, but their soul has been taken already, unfortunately, by Totem tellies, as Avian are looking good to try and sneak it away as far as they can. Brick running through with his Anarchy. Relatively uncontested, actually. In fact, completely uncontested.
Yeah, they pile into the power-up.
Easily.
Well, they deemed that the power-up was more important to fight for.
But they lost the power-up too.
That's the problem. They put all of their resources into fighting for quad damage, but the quad damage didn't actually go in their favor at all. And now, I mean, quad damage super nails. If there's one person on the enemy team you do not want creating that spam, you don't want to walk into an 80 damage nail. I mean, it's suicide.
I mean, 80 damage is more than, well, as I was going to say, half the team, but this is one of the first times we haven't seen a Nyx, so it's one of the 4 is going to be able to take. But still, that's an important one to not walk into. I'm sure you're not going to die to that, but just so I can say that, Avian, I mean, we've been talking before how important it is to get that good start, to get the first power-up, to get the first soul. Avian lost the first soul, but they got the first power-up. And look at the difference already. They have a commanding lead and plenty of healthy teammates alive currently.
It shows the impact that can be made when one fight goes your way. You get that one good fight in the power-up. Actually, didn't catch sight of Sanas right next to him.
All of them wiped out in an instant, and just like that.
I think part of that was that Sanas at the top of that location went completely unnoticed. We did see Effortless. He was right next to him, and his character model was in view, but he just didn't turn around.
Gip's going to have to be careful. He has the soul, but very weak at 30 health. No, can't drop it off. Brick stops him dead in his tracks, but dies on the way too. Bot mode can pick it up, but the gauntlet is actually going to be able to drop it off. He is indeed.
And now, the counter defense. Doesn't take a huge amount of time to build up 30%, so if they can defend now, they may be able to come back, but right now,
gone.
Yep, they've just been able to push in straight away.
Ooh. Oh, immediate denial. You are not going to get in my way, good sir. Bang. Oh, he's swinging. He's swinging the fist.
Oh, and he does 3 backflips in total to answer back. I mean, he tried. I mean, points for effort, but super shotgun, we'll see to that one.
That was an angry Doomslayer. He just put his guns down, got his bare knuckles out, and was like, let's
Speaking
go.
of which,
he's doing it again. He's got protection. Oh, goodbye. Ran him down completely. And Sygib now with that protection, and they have the point. They have the soul and the power-up again. Avian looking to be in a very good place so far.
And if Sygib's going to go down, he's going to try and take down as many people as possible. 1 damage ticking in total for the Assassin, but still somehow survived all of that. and then the final suicide just to give his teammate Brick protection instead. Nice little trade over.
Shot on that rail, that's a lot of damage.
It's been a very good round.
Oh, he's in
75% already.
That's a good start. 3 minutes in, this first round could potentially be done very soon. The power-up is not there anymore. So that's going to annihilate. 2 frags down now. Best bodies on the point to defend, and that's another one gone. They're going to contest. Oh, but no, already here. 2 kills, effortless, with the effortless double kill. But then he got taken out himself. So he's going to trade that one out to a degree, but here comes the Berserk one more time. I mean, he's not really going to be able to get away with that one too much. 1 punch on a Sorlag. 75 damage per punch versus Sorlag with armor is very difficult to really chip that health down, I think. But he did drop the soul off, which is a very important thing now. I mean, we saw this situation that Totem Tellys were in the reserve. They were in the reverse position in their first map. Oh, hang on, was that deliberate? Well, we'll never know, but he'll respawn really quickly. They were in this exact sort of reverse position themselves in map 1 beforehand, where they had a huge lead and then lost the comeback. If they could do the same thing back, but again, Brick just running through, and there's no one stopping him. It just doesn't look like Totem Tellys have been able to really just amass people to intercept them so far, the way we've seen before. And they took so much damage in that fight. That was just a clean double from Brick. But Kane, that was a clutch point-blank rail to land. If that missed, he was dead guaranteed, and it could have potentially been way closer to the end of the round with 94% on the board. They only need 6 at this stage. More like it though. Entire team here, but no, in the back line, he just gets ambushed. Oh! That's with the Berserk, but will die anyway. Effortless with the acid. He's going to drop this off. Is he going to be able to survive too long? Cygib has the quad damage. They've lost the power-up again. Totem Tellys just haven't been able to control it the same way. Now they've dropped off 1 more percent. Doesn't even have a chance to get anywhere near that location. And even if they did, that would have been a quad damage heavy machine gun or super shotgun to pretty much guarantee death. And they played that extremely well in that first round. And Totem Tellys are 1 map down. Avian looking good. I think the biggest part of that round that was so impactful for Totem Tellys was just they weren't able to control the power-up at all. It just seemed that Avian were always there first. They always got the better of the fights at the power-up, and I actually don't think, I mean, did Totem Tellys get a power-up at any point? Even if it wasn't them picking it up straight away, if it was them, like, you know, killing someone with it and taking it away, were they even able to do that? Oh, he's piling everything in. He's still swinging, and he finally gets the final hit. Oh, he just, like, kept swinging there. Oh, and he gets it at the last minute. Senas has been a madman throughout this round. Oh, dear. Cygib going in with that Berserk. He is taking damage, but able to drop it off. And Avian managing to capture Obelisk B this time. Starting things off strong now. Power-up going to be up soon to follow in just over 10 seconds time. And already the soul is in transit. Now, Totem Tellys, if they do concentrate on capturing it immediately, that will mean that, oh no, bot mode holding the soul is the one that's just peppering these nails down. He's doing a lot of damage. Combine that with the plasma trail, and that's going to be a hard-fought battle. Kane gets 3. C-Cap. Quad damage, but unbelievably low on HP. That was really well played from bot mode. Bot mode was the one with the soul, and he was the one that was just putting all those super nails through, so his team would just follow up and finish off what was happening. And it was good management. You can drop the soul off during that time and get a little bit of free percent, but if they manage to win that fight and then just pretty much seize your soul, that percentage doesn't really mean anything. If you hold the soul and go for your nail gun spam to do damage to then take power up for your team, after that, you drop off the soul, and it's way easier to get more percentage in the long run. But I love that adjustment from Totem Tellys. Like, even though they had the soul, they prioritized completely all 4 of them into, right, power-ups up, Avian will 100% be going for it. So they just invested as much as they could into denying them the power-up. And as soon as they did, now look at the difference. They are quite well in the lead. It was quite a clear, actually, adaptation from one round to another. And I gotta say, before Senas went down there, his accuracy on that super nail gun was very, very impressive. So seeing a lot of these frags instead. The stolen soul away, Brick will get it. Brick has been doing a great job of getting it through, but it's currently being chased. And there's that injection again. There we go, cleanly from one point to another. Brick's running of the soul has been very good throughout this map. In the previous round, I mean, he was able to really sort of prioritize and decide the best way forward to an Obelisk with taking minimal risk on the way there. Well, damage in the LG bot mode will fall down. Putting as much nails as he can to try and deny it. Soul dropping that down to the bottom, and Senas is just running in with the Berserk, using that speed to get through. Oh, double jump, clean over. Still being chased, though. Will he get away in time? Uh-oh, he's berserking. Is he getting followed? He is, but he's going to die on the corner anyway, but he is intercepted and effortless. Just takes him out immediately. Now he's trying to run it back. Oh, but there's a plasma trail. He's in trouble. Oh, detonating it a little bit too early, but Kane can still finish the job.
Here's the
Brick,
power up.
the power up though. Power not controlled in the same way. Brick popping that injection too, back to full health. Now quad damage and plenty of, well, 5 rockets, that's enough, easily. And a heavy machine gun too.
They have the soul. I think they're doing a fantastic job of actually keeping the rest of Totem Tellies at bay. They're not actually able to sort of go within their obelisk and fight for this one. They're pushing the advantage. They're being very risky. Minimal damage, and they actually do manage to win that fight, taking the quad for themselves.
Tennis hasn't got a frag with it yet though, and it's about to run out. Fortunately, they weren't able to do too much with it, but they do still have the soul lead in terms of percentage, but it looks like Avian are holding on to it at the moment. Brick trying to drop it off. He was able to do so, but... Oh, was he? No. Ever just before. Oh, there we go. Swinging the fists again in that berserk mode. Trying to get as many frags as possible. It is a complete bloodbath at this obelisk.
With these fights being as close quarters as they constantly are, the berserk is going to be quite an attractive option.
Oh. I think this is the first time we've seen the berserk used so consistently aggressive, you know what I mean? Normally it's been sort of, you know, an evasive tool, an escape option, saved for running the soul through, but this has just been straight up to just fight some people, hand to hand, one-on-one, man-to-man.
I mean, it's still going to be in transit temporarily, but Totem Tellies, they have a lead, but it's not going to be too significant. If Avian get that one good drop-off and they're able to hold it for even a small amount of time right here, they'll quickly bring that 20% back up.
Oh, a lot of damage.
It is indeed.
Oh, oof. Dies before he can drop off the soul, unfortunately. We're still able to follow up there at the very least, 50%. Not a massive lead, but definitely a lead nonetheless. I think the important thing is they're starting to get these sort of staggered frags on Avian. But, oh wow, Pit just out of nowhere, able to just sneak in through with a plasma trail.
It's going to be one of the easiest times for him to drop this soul off because the rest of the competition, they're fighting for the power-up. One check. I actually love that idea for bot mode to run in and try and sort of, while everyone else is fighting for that power-up, just sneak in there and just steal the soul away. While the rest of your team is fighting, use your ability, your agility, I guess, to just speed in there and get the best of both worlds. And right now they've been able to do it with CCAP having protection. Pretty weak, but a couple of health items will, you know, easily deal with that.
A good sequence from CCAP though, using that protection. Not being too afraid to get that speed increase through the rocket jumps, or the rocket boost, I suppose. Get himself back up as fast as he can, and Saigib getting another berserk kill in the wings. 3 frags coming through for Avian.
They trade it back and forth, and that was clearly a deliberate trade as well, just to eliminate the Sorlag from play temporarily. Brick. He's done a good job of running this previously, but we're taking one of those, even the smallest hit, yeah, forced to use his injection, but it's not enough to survive. Sorlag just lying in wait.
Sinister popping his berserk, trying to get as fast as he can, trying to get through. I mean, that's one of its many uses.
Well, in many ways, its main use for sure. Just that instant burst of speed and just
good by Brick. Did not see the super shotgun behind him.
I was surprised to see that rail miss actually, and that one too. Some very unusual misses. That one was definitely missed though. Oh, I mean, he actually missing 5 shots in a row. Poor old. Oh, very unfortunate there. Not able to get the hits he needed.
Still though, even though Avian, they do have the soul, they are massively down on percentage. Oh, so much rockets coming through. Did they manage to at least put it down? Not too sure. Not quite, it seems. Or if they did, it wasn't for very long.
Yeah, it wasn't for long enough if they were able to drop things off. Passing it back to Kane, but the issue both teams have been having right now is it's really taking place in the middle constantly. And here comes Saigib. He's the one player this weekend that has just not been afraid to punch his way through any problem.
That plasma choking down. I actually like that from Brick, that preemptive lightning gun, just in case he came down. But looks like Avian now have that quad damage. That's going to be a big deal for them to just try and bring stuff back if they can.
Especially with Brick having the soul in hand. They've pretty much got both really crucial comeback tools right here.
And Pit taking a lot of damage. I mean, he only has a machine gun, but it's clearly all he needs.
Now the defense comes through. I don't think Pit wants to overextend too much, but he's definitely content sort of sitting on the back line.
Well, that was a 144 shotgun. He can't afford to take much more of that.
But I just love this positioning by Pit. You know, why be anywhere near the obelisk when quad damage is up? If they want to push forward, if they want to take the obelisk, if you're out of the danger zone and they're having to go for you, they're not going for the obelisk, and then they're at the risk by the rest of the team. If they're not going for you, it's free quad damage from really far away.
Indeed. That's a nice sequence. Pit now looking quite low on health, but slowly but surely Totem Tellies are here. The injection is popped. There we go, it's 1 versus 2 it seems. For now, 3 versus 1 make that. CCAP comes in out of nowhere. take that soul down away. But yep, Effortless goes down to Acid. Point blank direct damage. He has now. He has the Berserk.
Oh, I just had the Berserk get popped actually. It's just going back and forth.
It's a good turnaround. I mean, Avian, they got a lot of percentage there, but Totem Tellies are still very much in the lead.
Oh,
But denying him getting through there, but Kane is going to see to it.
A bit of a questionable move, I suppose, from CCAP. Wondering what on earth just happened. Oh, big damage.
Oh, nice damage on that super shotgun. Oh, but we're getting another one. Saigib. Doing a lot of damage right now.
Right, and a superb turnaround, just 3% more. It's going to be 1-1. This has been a long round. I mean, it's been a long couple of rounds.
But Totem Tellies are only 3% away from taking it. Avian really can't afford to let Totem Tellies get any form of control anymore. They cannot let them lose this soul at any point.
You can never count teams out. I mean, Totem Tellies, they were on the receiving
They're all
end.
starting to go. All 4 of Totem Tellies are there at the power-up. The power-up could be up any second. They are looking and waiting to pick it up, and they got it. It's protection. That is a big disaster for Avian, and it's on Sorlag, no less, who has stacked with mega health. It's going to be very difficult to take him down now.
Actually on LG with full ammo. I mean, this is just going to be, in many ways, very, very hard to deal with. They're really trying to focus. They're doing a fantastic job. And they delete every ounce of health.
Wow.
I mean, did CCAP not focus enough? Was he actually not taking the fights where he should have been taking them? I kind of look like he was ignoring the danger right there.
I'm not sure, but Avian, they have the soul. He managed to zig around and knock.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, that's a direct rocket. Pit had the protection. This is a big opportunity for Avian. If they can hold on for a few seconds more, they will be able to win the round, but it's going to be difficult. They are getting poured into. This LG, he needs to get this frag, he needs to get it. Oh, the frag, and that's a double. That's a big opportunity now. They have lost it.
That was very unfortunate. I actually feel like Pitt did not have any rockets. He had the rocket available and then quickly switched to LG before he took the shot. I don't think he realized he was out of ammo.
He kept trying to drop it off. They cannot let him do this. One person's
Oh,
behind him.
Brick!
Dies for his effort. They've dropped it off. 1% is all they need, but Pitt getting a double kill. Are they close enough? But no, not enough. As 100% is off the board. One apiece now. 1 round to 1 round. Just under 10-minute mark. This is as back and forth as I guess you'd expect it to be at this point of the tournament.
I mean, the room for error is gone. Being a loser's bracket match, this is the elimination series. So we've seen how punishing certain mistakes can cost earlier today. And actually, funny enough, I feel like Totem Tellies have been on the receiving end of that more than enough times. And I mean, if Avian made that comeback, it would have been just another time of the many times Totem Tellies have conceded a round at the last possible second.
So that was a big time for Avian. They actually managed to get a complete team wipe. So even though Totem Tellies have all respawned, they're not going to have all the same access to weapons they had before. Berserk already down, though, decided by Totem Tellies.
Oh, that is a rock in a hard place if I've ever seen one. Doom guy lying in wait. Oh, and he's swinging again. Not able to get enough damage, probably dedicating a bit too heavily. Maybe in case that one punch may have got the kill, but with 60 health left, I think there's not much he could do there.
Okay, so Totem Tellies, they've managed to drop off the first soul, and the power-up is going to be soon to follow. If they can get hold of this, they'll be much better off, but they are here en masse trying to get it. Here's quad damage, and Kane just sneaks up from behind, steals it away. And now they have the soul. Oh, it's in transit, but they have the tools to get the soul back. As he is kind of stuck in this corner, is poor.
Yep, I mean, oh, wait, no! Oh, that is so unfortunate. He actually gets the rocket frag, but has already jumped off, probably convinced he was not going to get that kill.
Still, though, the soul has been reset to the middle, so this quad damage has kind of been reset to a degree, but Brick was able to get it. He's swinging around, but misses 2 crucial punches, and Brick with a quad damage rocket to put a stop to his berserk shenanigans.
Brick just accidentally did a quad damage rocket on the pillar, I believe.
Oh, dear. It's going to hurt a little bit. Oh, Saigib.
Is it just me, or is it just me, or has Doomslayer always got berserk? Like, every time we see a Doomslayer in this round, he's swinging all the time. He's glowing orange. He's ready to go.
Angry man this time. He is a very not happy man.
Too angry to die. But I feel like 10% versus 10% now. Very even. It's what we expected, I think. How these 2 rounds have gone, you can expect a close result now for the rest of the series.
This is good for Effortless, getting a lot of damage out now. It's a nice amount of health to survive on. Kane just peeks around the corner at just the worst possible time. He's a direct rocket to the face.
Avian have taken the lead, be it a small lead.
On CCAP now, managing to get the mega health and the soul at the same time.
Oh!
Hit. Oh, and eating a direct rocket into a follow-up.
Very nice.
Puts a stop to that. Passing over to bot mode, higher mobility. Doesn't have the injection, but just faster base speed at least.
But it's giving him a lot of data. Being up here and sort of seeing the action and listening out to it, there's no doubt going to be communications, but he knows that it was way too hot. That's a fantastic little mid-air super shotgun. I like the patience, you know, not piling too heavily into it. Unfortunately, it's not enough to survive, but not giving up the soul unnecessarily.
Totem Telly's dropping off the soul though at the least, but the protection will be up in a few seconds time. That's probably there where the next fight takes place. All of Avian
Oh my
you can see him trying to go in. All that acid put down, and he gets a nice frag onto Brick. But it looks like Saigib, Avian are still able to control this.
The second you get protection, you don't have to worry about the acid spit as much. Taking very minimal damage over time. Saigib, he's taken a huge amount of damage to be here though, and he's missing the super nails. That is likely to be a free frag. Can he finish it? Bot mode finishes the job and just dodges every nail.
He also picks up the protection too. He gave the protection away, and they still have the soul. That is a disastrous situation, turn of events for Avian, as now Totem Tellies, they have protection and they still have the soul. It's not what they wanted to happen in that situation. Unfortunately, Saigib just missing too many nails when it really counted.
It just came off a really well executed 1v1, and hitting Anarchy with those super nails is quite a difficult task at times because he's just so much faster than every other champion. That instant movement is almost unrivaled. Oh, surprised. Sandwiched in both ends. That's unfortunate.
Managing to throw the soul up at the very least. Senas is there trying to stop it. Saigib went in for the gauntlet, but didn't quite manage it, and it's dropped back off swiftly as Totem Tellies are on this 50% lead.
Oh, huge damage.
Only has a rocket left now, though. There's a bunch of machine guns still. Wow, that's another frag. All of these kills just going in the way of Totem Telly's favor. It just doesn't look like Avian can go in as a group the same way. Oh, and there's a return frag, Saigib. A lot of rocket damage, that's the kind of thing they need. Oh, there's a plasma trail. Stolen soul, but into immediate death on almost all parts.
Bot mode just being humongous pain in the neck. Rex been able to sort of navigate that. It kind of goes back to his decision making on where he is supposed to go to drop the soul off. It's been very impressive throughout this entire series. He's pretty much the Anarchy we've seen the most throughout this one particular series, where if he's made a navigation towards the obelisk, he's very rarely being met by anybody. Like, his decision making has been very good.
Wow, they barely were able to hold on to the soul that time, and Kane's already stolen away, but they are ready to just get in the way of where he's trying to go. He is surrounded by 3 members of Avian, but there we go, C-Cap raining down acid rain from above. And he's going to take that down immediately. Brick now has the quad damage. This is a great chance for Avian to bring themselves back into this one, as they are holding onto the soul and the quad damage.
That's that decision to go for LG. Knows he's likely to need it. You know, the 2 members right there trying to maybe wait out the quad damage a little bit, but they haven't really got time to waste. The comeback is starting to begin, and it's real.
This is their chance for sure, and that's frags. Oh no, ever so slightly just dies, but Saigib still able to salvage it. But Kane still somehow ends up with the quad damage.
I wonder if he's going to be able to get at least one more frag. Quad won't last much longer, but at least taking out a crucial target is going to be important. Saigib gets taken out, but not before they trade it back and forth. Effortless. He's managed to deal with that.
And now it just looks like Avian are doing a much better job of holding onto it, but it's difficult for them to seemingly build up percentage at the same time. Slowly but surely, though, even though they lose it, they are getting it back quite quickly.
There's a lot of hands on deck when it comes to Avian's defense right now. Like, they have a lot of entrances covered. You can see Totem Tellies, they're really sort of pushing in as a group. Effortless is in big trouble, misses the rail. Maybe punished heavily for that, and he does indeed. And even then, the rail from the top either way was likely to seal that.
Surrounded in every way, C-Cap was able to come back in, take the soul away. Right as Avian have evened things out near enough, 66 to 65. Still hasn't got any armor, very much at risk. Oh no, but Brick with the lightning gun. A lot of damage going through. Saigib popping that berserk. He has the soul, just trying to get as much distance as he can. Big movement coming out there. That double jump with the speed increase from berserk being put to perfect use.
Very, very useful, and they've actually taken the lead now. It's a very small lead, but they'll happily take this one. It was looking so good for Totem Tellies at the beginning. In 13 seconds, we're going to see the power-up spawn once more.
It's almost like deceiving movement from Doomslayer. You know, you almost don't expect him to be able to make stuff like that, but you know, when you combine his double jump with that, just the berserk mode, putting him at his top speed, I mean, you can make some crazy jumps to situations. However, Totem Tellies, they have the protection now. They're going to siege onto this point as much as they can, and Avian, their lead could slowly disappear if they don't get a hold on the situation, as now they have the power-up and the soul. It's on bot mode, no less.
I like bot mode, yeah. He took an extra couple of seconds, probably knowing that's going to be a couple of seconds used of the protection, but it's going to be worth it to just get the sheer amount of health he's now going to have for this fight. He's still more than healthy. So you got protection, those 15 the armor shards that are dropped on death, very, very useful.
Yeah, it means at any time he gets a frag or is near someone that dies, if he can pick up those shards, he immediately just becomes next level difficult to kill. You see Avian here having the soul, but can they do anything with it? Oh, bot mode kind of piled into that one, but because they actually survived his rocket, he was stuck between two very angry opponents. Speaking of angry, Berserk has managed to get one of those frags, but once again traded out.
The
important thing there was he was able to shove the soul back onto the obelisk before he died, and just taking one with him was almost like, you know, icing on the cake. Still though, Totem Telly's 90%. This is getting close again. There's been almost 3 10-minute rounds. It's been so close, and they're still holding on to it. One frag at a time. Brick drops down. Effortless goes down in the air too. Sygib is next. They're jumping in one at a time, and Totem Telly,
I think that's it.
That's probably the game.
They're trying to waste a little bit of time. Have they been able to waste it? They're dead temporarily. Here we go. I do believe that's likely to be the match. They get 2 important frags. It is going to be the final. We'll take right there. Impressive display, but it's hard to believe that was only 1 map. But that was a long map.
It's as close as it should be, I think, at this level of play, at this level of the tournament, when you realize what they're playing for. But at the same time, you know, I actually think that was really well played from Avian. Totem Tellies, I think, were going into this, considering they were in the winners bracket for longer, they were going into, I think, arguably the favourites there. Obviously, having not dropped a set until they got to winners finals means they're obviously having a very good day before that, and Avian were already in losers, so it's kind of up and down. But still, a very close map means that when it's that close, it's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen. Because that first round, like, Avian got every single power-up. And Totem Tellies, their immediate answer was, right, well, now we just need to make sure that we get it. We need to make sure that at the very least we're there, getting as many frags as possible. So the next map is going to be Ruins of Sarnath, which is, again, more of the same sort of strategy. But we haven't seen too much of Ruins today, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, no, it can be quite popular among certain teams, but we just haven't really been in a position where we've seen the map picked too heavily. But I think, on the subject of power-up with this, I know that power-up is not the absolute be-all, end-all of success. But I feel like what we did see in the first round was, if you don't get a single power-up at all, then it will play a major part. It will have a big impact on how you do. So you can win without it if you get the odd power-up here and there, but if you just defend really well, we've seen teams defend superbly well against people with protection and a full stack. They've actually been able to take them out and get that kill, take it for themselves. It's possible, but at the same time, yeah, like I just said, if you don't get a single one and your opponents are getting it every time it spawns, it's just naturally going to be more uphill for you as a team. So I think it was a very clean but obvious adaptation that needed to be made, and clearly that adaptation helped them massively. But Avian played very, very well in those rounds. I mean, like I said, this is one of the longest maps that we've had today. So if it was convincing, maybe it would be easier to decide, right, so going into Ruins now, maybe it's going to be a little bit easier for them to take it potentially 2-0. But after such a close map number 1, this one's going to be kind of hard to call, I feel.
I think what won't be difficult is predicting what champions we're going to see, considering what we've seen consistently from all the teams today. I'd be very surprised to see them change, but it is a new map, so maybe there'll be new strategies on board, but I'd be too surprised if we see them just sticking with it. Looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. So Ruins of Sarnath now, 1 map advantage for Totem Tellies, and Avian, like you said, they were looking good. They almost had it. It was very close down to the wire. Probably one of the longest maps we've had today. And if that's anything to go by, we might have ourselves a bit of a long series on our hands. But you have to keep in mind, this is losers bracket. You lose here, you're eliminated. They're playing for Dreamhack Winter. This is their last chance to do that. And they're in losers, which means that if they lose now, that is gone. That dream is dead for now.
Well, we have 55 seconds left on this warm-up, so we have a little bit of time for these teams to really sort of gather their thoughts, prepare for this new map. The maps in Sacrifice do make a pretty big difference, I find. I mean,
there's no denying that.
The pace can be different. The requirement for certain weapons can be a little bit different as well. Ruins of Sarnath is really useful for Anarchies. I think Anarchy and Slash in particular, this is a real playground for those champions. And if you're really dangerous with those champions, then it's a great map for you, because you have so much room to just build up speed, those tight corridors, and they're 2 champions you've got to really watch out for, because we've seen consistently throughout competitive Sacrifice on Ruins of Sarnath where if you get the soul at one point with either of those 2 champions, in the blink of an eye, you can go from one obelisk to another. And if they're not watching out for you, then that one drop-off can be the round.
But I think, especially from like Brick per se, it seems that both teams are very competent at getting like the optimal route from one obelisk to another when they're on on the Anarchy, on the Doomslayer with the Berserk. And I think Ruins of Sarnath is a great map for that, especially if you're going sort of from top to bottom. And they have the right composition to do that. It's just a question of which obelisk do they get first. I think that first soul is going to be so important on this map, even more so, arguably, than others.
Well, actually, in particular, I would like to see a little bit more of Brick throughout this Sacrifice map, because his navigation has been on point. Wow, blood covered
going to get that first control over the soul, passing it over to Brick. He's going to die in the process, but the important thing, he was able to hold on to it. Oh, that missed rail. But, you know, he did have some armor, so would have survived anyway.
Would have made his life a lot more difficult, though. Avian have been able to take this first point, and, well, it did come down to Brick. Just good awareness, making sure the Anaki's the one that probably should go for the drop-off. Tries to go for the mid-air, can't quite get it. Kasanas, a little bit of almost like a mid-air dodge in effect. Sticking to the left.
So Avian got the first soul, but Totem Telly's got the first power-up and swiftly turned that into the second capture of the game. Still, though, took a lot of damage there. He is getting chased hardcore. They are not going to let him go, but Kane is able to pick up the power-up, so at least his team didn't lose it. Oh, Brick just got deleted.
There's that tactical suicide that we've been seeing so consistently. He's going to be way better off that CCAP with that health, with that armor. He's going to do a way better job with this quad damage during this time. Needs one more. Stuck in the air, though. That's very unfortunate. Not really able to almost trade that one out.
It's a good start, though, for Totem Telly. He's a little bit evened at this point. Avian currently trying to capture it back. Looks like he's going to at least drop it off, even though he might die here. He is quite weak, but he does have some teammates around, sort of helping him out. But no, Kane is going to at least take him with him.
And it's already back and forth. I mean, I feel like this could potentially be quite foreshadowing. Every round we've seen so far has been unbelievably close. And I mean, 18 versus 24, it's still looking to be just that.
Soul's been stolen immediately. Senas, they weren't really able to build too much. They had a lead, but 7% lead really doesn't mean too much in the long run.
Within half a second, I mean, just very nice. Catching that mega health with 4 health left.
And that's almost an entire team wipe for Avian. Brick going to be the next one to drop.
This is one extra element on Ruins of Sarnath. If you are the team that's near Obelisk B, sort of controlling, or I guess in many cases denying that rocket launcher, it's quite crucial to make sure that they can't sort of just pepper those rockets into your location. But because you're so close to it, it's quite easy to fight for it if you're near that side.
Popping the Berserk and flings the soul, just trying to capture it. Catches a punch, doesn't quite get a kill, but does a lot of damage. Enough to poke down at the very least. Oh,
that falls.
The protection goes towards Totem Telly's, though. I mean, the power-up control has been so imperative towards Totem Telly's getting any of his momentum back, and actually passing it on to bot mode, who had 14 health. I'm not sure about that decision. He definitely had more health than bot mode did at the time.
I can only assume that he really did expect bot mode to pick up that mega, and he has been able to achieve that. But yeah, I think going for a suicide to give it to a teammate with 14 health was quite risky indeed. That fight could have gone pear-shaped.
Bot mode, though, that mega has topped him up nicely, so he's going to be able to wipe the entire team almost. And Soul has been taken away again, but Avian, 51%. That was a good start for them. Oh, no, wait, was that a telefrag? Was Pitt just standing at the exit of the teleporter?
Right, it could have been. I mean, you never know. There's such a fast-paced game mode at times, but I feel like they weren't really able to get a huge amount of Soul progress with that protection. It took them quite a while to actually not only trade off the protection, but also wait for that mega to come back. By the time bot mode actually closed in the distance near the obelisk, most of the protection had actually been used up at that stage.
Still, though, good for Avian. They were able to drop it off thanks to Saigib, but Senasau grabbing it, but Avian more than in the way. Got a few people here. Saigib there ready to catch it. He has kind of just been the go-to soul runner, it seems, so far. He has got his Berserk up in about 10 seconds time. Have it for a little while. Leave for the rest of this fight.
He's in big trouble. Sandwiched in. Oh, so many gauntlets. Bot mode just grinded up. Safely through the plasma trail. So common is when an Anki player will run through that plasma trail because it's risky to go after him.
Oh, looks like bot mode is actually able to no! Immediately the entire team appears. I thought for sure he was going to get that. CCAP ready with his gauntlet, trying to put it off, and there we go, grinding up effortless. And there's 3 frags on the side of Totem Telly. So what they need to sort of bring things back to a little bit more of a controlled pace.
Seems like every time a soul gets delivered, it's around 20% each time. It's not being held for a massive amount of time, but when they have it, they get it for a decent little chunk. They're kind of going back and forth right now. Power up spawns. Oh, Zazzy just needs to try and focus on surviving during this time, and he does manage to do just that, at least for 1 frag. That's not going to be enough. Wait for the finish. Oh,
Saigib taking a lot of damage in that situation. Kane doing work. Just a shotgun in the plasma trail, but Brick is able to take hold of the soul in that exchange. The quad damage now belonging to Kane.
He's really trying to pile in there. I think if he gets taken out there, so be it, with the quad being up for such a little amount of time. the more heads he was going to collect there, the better. Rick's having a really hard time actually deciding where he wants to go here, I think. On Ruins, the gap in between the obelisks is so small that even after you've taken someone out, they're likely to spawn way closer to your obelisk than you are currently.
No, Brick is really waiting out this capture. I think he doesn't want to be too hasty.
Well, I feel like, you know, just sort of piling yourself into the obelisk is a risk, because you can see just how many members of Totem Tellies are waiting. You know, realistically, how is Brick, until they lose a couple of members, how is he supposed to safely go in? He's taken the time to do it now, and they've been able to win that group fight. That was just patience executed perfectly, because the rest of his team followed up really.
It paid off. You know, he stalled a lot of time, but his team is ultimately still in the lead, and now they're controlling it, which is going to make that gap even bigger between. He's going to win this 1v1. DB getting close. He is indeed bot mode, missing a bit too many shots in that situation. And that's a shotgun versus Rocket. Rocket will win.
And now the percentage is doing a nice little job of climbing up. We're probably going to see at least one more power up before this round is through, though.
I think one power up at least, considering how some of these games are going down.
This round has gone on for a long enough amount of time. We have again reached that point where Anarchy is above 80 HP to take those rails, if that's all he takes. It's unlikely with the rest of the team likely to be putting damage out too, but every little helps, no doubt.
Oh, but the power up, the protection, but Pit very low. Actually lost the protection immediately. So now the soul is actually still in the possession is what I was looking for.
Oh, not for long.
Avian.
They found him.
Passing over to a teammate, a very mobile teammate.
They had the protection, but they've not really been able to do much with it. I think a big part of that, again, did come down to the fact that they just delayed it. You know, they just postponed as much as possible.
The protection just reaching the end of its time as well. Avian, this has been a really good round for them, and they're looking really good to take it. Another protection is gone. I can't imagine we'll get another one. This pace keeps up.
Misses a couple of rails, or actually 3 in a row. Yeah, Felicity, he's not going to be happy with that. Sort of the token mouse frustration back and forth.
Still though, CCAP able to take the soul away, 41% to 98. I mean, this is going to be difficult, but we have seen it done. But, I mean, they're going to have to do it with it. They've just been struggling to drop the soul off at any point, not, like, let alone hold on to it. They can't even drop it off at the moment. It's just like that, Avian are always right there, ready and waiting to not let them every time.
I actually love that. Allow them to follow you down, and then while they follow you down to that lower point, that's when you throw the soul over the bridge. There's no way Ephelis was going to be able to chase that soul down.
Oh, this is a really good fight for Totem Tellies, though. Zenas has got it. There we go. This is what they need now. Power up, not going to be up for another 30 or so seconds. If they can hold on to this, Brick's going to go down.
Using the jump pad as well.
Pit, I mean, that they're going in one at a time now. A big part of how they've been stopping Totem Tellies from getting any points is...
Here comes the sneaky Effortless. Oh, no wonder he's being so sneaky. You're so weak.
They've been there as a unit to stop them capturing, but now they're going in one player at a time. This isn't how they're going to be able to bring the soul back. They are massively in the lead, but they will drop it. I mean, now is a good time. Now the 3 of them were here together. They are still starting to drop down one by one. Like it follows. Power up going to be up in about 5 or so seconds.
Wow, Pit just cleans house. Pretty much takes out all 3 of them.
He is still relatively low, and that's quad damage, but quad damage going towards Avian. This is very good for them to close out the round if they can.
Oh, just almost got gauntleted right there. Once again, it kind of looks to me like Pit was trying to be a bit careful, but that's the exact reason you're careful, right? Because if they're waiting for you and they hit one rail, all of your work to get it there is undone. So Ephelis has taken out his team, but it does look like CCAP was able to get away. Can he drop it off before he dies? He is able to. That's going to take Pit goes down! Wait a second. I mean, never call it impossible. They are on the progress of making it very, very impressive.
Wait, the power-up's gone. The power-up isn't into play anymore. If they can defend as a unit, as we've seen them being doing, they can do this, but it's going to be so punishing. If they make a mistake, I was about to say if they make a mistake, but how about we shoot in the wall with a rocket launcher, point blank?
I mean,
yeah, he's got a lot of teammates around. Maybe he hasn't had to pay for it too much yet. He's back in there, but only has a shotgun. He lost a lot of his weapons. That's one of the biggest downsides here.
And with the Star shotgun on deck, the acid spit's going to be sufficient to take out Brick, but he's not going to be able to use that LG with 6 health. They've taken the soul back. Hang on a minute, 2% is all they need. I mean, Totem Tellies, they need to head him off right now, but it looks like there's not many hands on deck for this fight.
They are here, he's looking for his time. He is surrounded completely, he's stuck in a corner and gets deleted. And bot mode trying to get through now. Trying to move through. Is anyone here to stop him?
Not yet.
No, not in time. The Berserk following him, but he cannot stop him, and Sygib falls down immediately. Totem Tellies, are they actually going to make this comeback? He tries to pop his injection to get away. The soul. Zenas is there trying to salvage.
You got to make sure there's someone in the middle of that map, you know, to sort of catch the soul. It's trading back and forth over this archway so consistently.
Oh, Saigib able to take him out, but Kane still ends up with it. But there we go, the plasma trail damage as well. Brick managing to get out of this. He just needs to move.
Here comes the power-up in 10 seconds. I wonder if there's even going to be a chance to fight for it.
No one
Brick
here.
delivers.
Oh, it's just one. But he goes in that nail gun shot. Kane by himself tries to go in, but there we go. Able to keep himself alive. If Kane didn't get killed by that nail gun, that might have been a completely different round end.
I feel like betting everything on Kane winning that 1 versus 1 might not have been the right call. I mean, like, they thought, right, if 2 of us go for the power-up and Kane wins this 1v1, we're likely to win the round. The issue is, Kane was using a jump pad directly into a super nail gun.
Too. He only had a gauntlet out. Was that the only weapon he had?
Well, potentially could have been, or he just may have thought it was his best chance at winning that fight. If he gets 1 good gauntlet, maybe he could have deleted the Anarchy, but really, that was definitely an all-or-nothing play when they'd worked so hard to be in that situation to begin with.
Right, Totem Tellies, they almost pulled off one of those, I don't want to say impossible comebacks, but difficult comebacks. That's happened to them so many times earlier in the winner's bracket, but they weren't able to close it out, unfortunately. And Avian now going up around in what is looking to be another down-to-the-wire game.
Oh, Pit's able to avoid the initial damage of the acid, but not the ticking damage. And it is health, actually. That's, you know, just as bad.
There's the mega health, though, immediately undoing all that damage.
Oh, I wonder why Pit actually isn't going for the Obelisk B. Should have to turn around instead. Maybe they really must have just really wanted that Obelisk A. Like, that's one of the first times we've seen in competitive as well, where a team has actually stopped in their tracks.
To go the longer way.
To go the longer way, to specifically take one Obelisk.
We don't see that too often now, but clearly it's working out for them. Soul is already in transit. The quad damage is being recovered from Totem Tellies again. Still have the soul, but can't seem to drop it off yet. Oh, C-Cap did lose that 1v1. Brick's going to be able to walk away with that.
Swiftly brought back. Totem Tellies had the soul, but were not able to get it dropped off. Avian with that 10% in quite a quick turnaround. I mean, for the speed of which these rounds have gone. Wow,
Pit with that
triple kill. Very good.
Still a minute and a half in. Avian with that lead. Almost 20% to 0. Oh, lots of damage coming through from Pit. He's been on the money with that super shotgun so far. Mega health gets secured by Totem Tellies, but took a rocket for it. Oh, no, that is not what you want to be doing.
That has happened so much on this map today. Unbelievable.
So though C-Cap has the soul, he's taken it away at least, but almost 30% built up from Avian first.
But the difficulty has been being actually, you know, bringing it back. That has been the hard thing. But he's nicely surrounded, but oh, with 20 health. That teleport was going to be risky business.
Right, so there's the start of the round for Totem Tellies. They've got that percentage starting to rise up now. They are down, but 30%, I mean, it is a large number when you're losing the soul as often as both teams are, but you've seen how quickly that can sort of disappear if you have a good sequence of defense. Wow, Saigib managing to completely just thread the needle through all that, but still probably going to die for it.
We're trying to go that fast, bumping into a wall in any degree and stopping your momentum. It's going to be guaranteed death if you're surrounded. Power-up's going to be spawning in 3 seconds.
He is being followed though, but only seems to have a machine gun.
Oh! Pit really has been... He's been a star fragger this entire map.
He has the quad damage now too. That means that there's no better way.
Not a lot of health though, 33 health and 10 armor. Even with 50, he's still going to be a little bit vulnerable in these fights. That's why he's trying to keep his distance. Really doesn't want to risk giving it back.
Nobody got the soul, but dies straight away. Kane having none of it. They drop it off. Oh, and Saigib, as soon as he just sees the sky in the air, immediately dead. As is the nature of quad.
Kind of really is the danger, really, that he actually gave up quad damage. Totem Tellies, they've taken the lead now.
We're trying to LG just ever so slightly out of range, but the important thing is Totem Tellies, their entire team is here now. And Suicide, I think he's just trying to get as much health as he can for the next fight. But right as he commits suicide, Avian come in, but it looks like they've got it. Totem Tellies still able to win that fight, but he just leaves one on the point. Saigib goes down again. Effortless too. Now, this is the kind of defense we expect to see from Totem Tellies. They are now very comfortable. And this is again Avian, they're going in one at a time. Going at that double jump, you can see how easy it is to sort of dupe those nails.
Yeah, I think the super nail gun actually is particularly, not necessarily the rocket launcher though, but the super nail gun is actually particularly easier to dodge, I think, with the double jump. You have to aim so far ahead of the opponent to land those nails. Predicting the double jump means, I mean, he could use it at any moment.
Right, Pit passing over to Effortless. Power up, that could be up for a little while yet as well.
of surprised to see those 32 damages. It was pretty close range, but
yeah, it just seemed
the
to be
spread
a
pattern was
little bit
not
off the
meant to
mark.
be.
I guess sometimes that happens with bot mode. He's up now. Avian starting to climb this percentage. If Avian win this round, they're going to tie things up at 1 map apiece, and we'll be going to a map 3. Totem Tellies. I mean, they're winning at the moment, but we've seen how quickly that can sort of change back around.
You can never sit on a lead in Sacrifice. One capture could be all it takes. Here comes the power up. Rick trying to time things. I mean, he just really ran into death itself right there. There's so many people waiting for him. Oh, hang on a minute. He's got the protection berserk mode. He's going to get 2 frags on that one. I mean, close range, that's very hard to fight.
Going through, okay, Soul has gone back towards Totem Tellies, passing over to a teammate. Hasn't been picked up yet. Sidegear picks it up and throws it back immediately, undoing all that work. Unfortunately, fumbled pass from Totem Tellies. That's such a bad time as well, considering Avian are here now, all of them. Oh, hang on a minute. To immediate. Oh, did you hear the scream, the berserk mode as you appear? That's not what we want to be listening to.
And a kill on that to boot. But I mean, Avian, like they've had a really good first round, but I'm telling you, they're still fighting until the bitter end. Like both of these teams, they're never giving up at any moment. They're still playing to their heart's content until the last second.
Still though, this is what Avian need. They are in the lead again. Now it's starting to build upon that. A lot of frags coming through too. I mean, Brick very weak.
Oh dear.
That's it. A little glancing blow of a lightning gun. Needs to finish him off.
Yeah, Pit was just going to walk into the grinder right there. But before CCAP actually does exactly the same thing.
Bot mode very weak now thanks to that damage over time. Oh, but before the injection actually heals him, Rail.
There's the delivery again. Very close now to making this a map 3. Oh, that one direct. That's a great start for them.
Trying to pile on to contest this, but Avian, they're just doing such a good job defending it. I mean, I think we're kind of beginning to see why they favored this obelisk so heavily at the start. You know, they wasted some valuable seconds to make sure this is the one they got, but I mean, look at their defensive on it.
Make no mistake, Pit had the soul at the very beginning of this round, and he decided to just stop what he was doing and double back to specifically take this obelisk.
Beginning to see why though, really. 92% and climbing. This is looking like it's all she wrote. They do have quad damage, but they need to go in immediately. CCAP.
Oh dear. Trades out for a super shotgun, but 1 more percent. Here we are again. The comeback needs to be made.
Problem is this quad damage has gone towards Avian this time.
Oh no, and I feel like this quad might be that's all he needs. Gets 2 clean frags, and they're not able to contest at all. That's going to be a map 3. Ruins of Sarnath goes in the favor of Avian. That was really well played, and I think, you know, if you prioritize a specific obelisk, that can easily go pear-shaped for you. I mean, that could easily go wrong. If you're showing the enemy team that you prefer one obelisk to another and you don't get it, then if you don't get it, then that's like immediately on the back foot, right? But fortunately for them, they played it really well. Very calm, very calculated. Got the obelisk they wanted, and I mean, the results speak for themselves right there. But another close game.
But map 3 is going to be Tempest Shrine, and this will be the 3rd and final map in this losers bracket final. So first map, almost as close as it gets, right? As one of the longest maps we've had all day, was as close as I think it physically can get almost. This one, not so much. It definitely wasn't a complete wash. It wasn't super one-sided, but at the same time, you know, 2 rounds to 0 was a nice return for Avian. But at the same time, map 3, Tempest Shrine. Let's have a wait and see what happens here.
So I expect the champion lineup to pretty much remain exactly the same. But again, I think it kind of goes back to when we've watched the way NA have been approaching Sacrifice so far. In Tempest Shrine in particular, they have a distinct difference to EU. I've said that before, and I'll say it again because it's so prominent in how differently they approach this map. Watching these newer teams, it's going to be hard to say. So going into our champion select, we're going to see if they go with the same champions as always. Now here we go. Actually, it looks a little bit like Avian being a bit patient.
Oh no, they were just building suspense, waiting for their moment to lock in the same champions again.
So I would ask you predictions, right? I'd ask you predictions at this stage. But with how close the rounds have gone, I think it's going to be very difficult to do so. That said, who do you like the most? From what we've seen in the previous 2 maps, going into this final map, who do you think has the best chance of taking this one?
Now, I wonder if Totem Tellies might have a block against this map, considering this is the map that they dropped the 99 to 100 comebacks on twice in a row.
Twice in a row. I think that's the kicker, right? Twice in a row.
I think how they've recovered from that will dictate what happens on the map this time around. If they're going to use it to fuel them and fill them with that rage and that determination, then maybe they'll be able to do it.
Well, this is the shot at redemption, isn't it? This is the opportunity to go, right, okay, so it didn't work out last time. However, we've got another shot to do this, and this would be their ticket into grand finals as well. You know, everyone's going to want their run back. Totem Tellies would, I think, greatly appreciate the ability to get that run back versus Motus.
I will say, one of the members of Avian is currently expressing his disappointment at the rain. He doesn't seem too happy about the rain on this map, so that might be a problem for him.
Well, he's in for a rainy day, isn't he?
Oh dear, perhaps. I mean, he is playing Sorlag, so...
I thought you were going to be way more prepared for that great joke I just made, but I guess not. Imbecile. We have 2 seconds left going into this map. I won't even... I'm not going to explain it. I'll just ruin an already bad joke. But here we go, the final map between Totem Tellies and Avian. I mean, Totem Tellies, they've had a hard time on this map today. They need to get over this one in record time if they want to get into grand finals. Oh, nice little mid-air. Now, Soul carried already.
Play.
Oh, the early lead too. I feel like it's been a good start for them so far, but see how many people are piling in. Hit with a double kill. He's been such a superb fragger throughout this entire series. So many of these like group kills, the double kills, the triple kills, they've been in Pit's favor. Here comes the power up. That's quad damage. Brick, the quad damage in hand. Oh, that's 3 kills already in their favor. But it kind of goes back to actually very much what happened previously, where although the Soul initially did not go in their favor, getting the power up.
That's a nice turn of events, at least, to start things off. 12% to 11, I think, back dead even as we expect it to be, which is kind of, I mean, I suppose that's probably going to be the rest of the map, right?
But that one power up, we've seen this previously today, where that one time you get power up, yes, you don't get the initial obelisk, but the lead is now starting to climb quite significantly. There you go, another fight taking place, but funny really how throughout the entire course of the day, this one obelisk, like in A, has been seen to be so hard to fight for, or actually hard to fight on, I guess is a more accurate term, but we'll be honest, with these North American teams, it doesn't actually seem like as much of a problem.
Still though, really nice start for Avian. I mean, 40% to 11 is not a bad way to just separate that gap at the start. Oh, wow. A squish.
But it's been a small turnaround for a huge chunk of percentage, to be honest, for Avian. He's taken out in the middle. There's a path patrol. I mean, he's trying, but not quite able to get in there. Oh, dear.
All right, well, still, Brick on a bit of a rampage right now. Very weak. Oh, but no, that's going to do it. Berserk mode popped, but is he still alive? Oh, no, he's going for the kill. Wasn't quite able to get it. Skygib now holding it himself.
Protection. I mean, bot mode, he's had a good run with the power-ups today. Well, Anarchy and Dinner, actually, I think both Brick has had a similar advantage here, but tries to get out of there. Kind of getting stuck on the wall temporarily, a little bit of unnecessary damage.
Right, still though, the protection bot mode only has a few health, but one small health can do a lot to bring that back. Oh, effortless.
Oh,
it's getting taken out. It's a bit trying, yeah, but I'll say, is he going to go for this sort of reset here? And we are nowhere near their point here. They're going to try and take that time to reset things.
But it's like we've seen earlier today, where if you're able to sort of like force that reset situation, the fact that it takes a lot longer on this map to reset back into the middle, if you can win that fight, it's almost like a guaranteed like passage back to your obelisk.
Indeed, but CCAP holding on to it now. They're going to have a bit of a comeback on their hands to make, but still early days. Almost 4 minutes in.
Oh, trying to get out of dodge with that berserk.
He's actually only got a shotgun though. He doesn't really have a lot of equipment to do much here. Still, though, they might have a few seconds to breathe while they wait for Avian to respawn.
Well, this is the first time we've seen Tellies with like a really significant defense on this obelisk against Avian. So I think it'll be interesting now to sort of get that data as a collective team, you know, getting that data to see how important this defense will be.
Looking for it. That's going to be one.
Oh! Still able to keep it on the totem temporarily. But I mean, it's been stolen at the last minute.
Still, though, they have the soul. That's what they need. Still, though, soul in transit. That's what they're looking for at the moment.
But with no armor, though, I'd be very worried about Brick making it back safely. He's going to have an attempt. Actually looking like a little bit free for him, though. There's no one there to challenge. And that is because the power-up has spawned. I actually love that consistency, you know, the patience where right before the power-up spawns, there's a lot of waiting, you know, making sure that you're not going to unnecessarily run into death. But the second everyone diverses into the power-up, and that is where everyone goes, I mean, that's free passage all the way back to your obelisk.
Well, the power-up is like the turning point for how the rest of the map is going to be going right now. Because Totem Tellies have gone from being quite significantly behind to now they have the power-up. It's almost evened out, like just like that by itself.
Oh!
But Brick able to come in and snatch that power-up for himself.
And it runs out right as he goes in with the super shotgun. That's a little bit unfortunate. Oh, that was fantastic!
I'd say prediction. That was more of a... He kind of... I mean, he could see he was going up there, so he knew where to place the rocket.
I mean, that was
what
just
a
sick.
shot.
That was just sick in every way.
Oh dear, but Pit running around full speed ahead.
But for another time, this round has been so back and forth. Avian have the advantage temporarily. I just feel like the way Avian have just been able to... A big part of it is just their general decision-making. In these like sort of game-changing moments when power-up is about to spawn, or when, you know, the soul is about to spawn at the very beginning, their calls on, you know, where they need to be, the targets they need to prioritize, it's just a little bit more on point.
Has been seeming that way, but we can see there's 3 of Totem Tellies, and there's that plasma trail, but dies immediately before he can actually paint that plasma trail death. Well, trail, I suppose. Effortless, coming in with a lot of frags, berserk mode kill too, but Kane fighting back, still has the soul. Very weak though, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to get away safely. Oh no, of course not. Saigib just with the standard machine gun, doing more than enough damage.
Oh, dear me! That was just melee central. But he's not able to get away.
That speed Brick running through. That's the soul now. Needs to bring it back. Only 15% left of them to get. The power-up going to be up in a few seconds too. Now they're going to have to make a decision. Where do they split up? Do they try and get it? Or do they just fully commit to power-up now?
This is always that really difficult location. So it's gone in the hand of Avian. Yeah, the second you've got to make that choice and you've got to decide, you know, what do we go for? If it doesn't work out, that's pretty much likely to be the round. They just need 10 more percent. They're already making safe passage back to Obelisk A and 2% already on the board. Effortless has plenty of protection left to go. And I feel like this might be a win. They're trying to pass it back, but there's no one there to receive it. Going in for the gauntlets, but just can't get the damage he needs. Bot mode gets taken out as well. And there's only 4% left to climb. But still going.
I mean, protection is on its way out 100%, but still. They're hoping to defend. Pit is just holding on to this. 1 left to go. And there's that plasma trail. If it explodes now. No, the suicide.
We'll see if that's going to be punished heavily. Just look at how many members of Totem Tellies have piled in. They have no other choice. They have to waste time. They need to fight for this one. But Pit again with the star frag gets a clean double. And I believe that double kill is sufficient to take that first round. I think Pit has been such a star performer in this entire round for both maps. That's going to be match point for Avian. One more round could put them into grand finals right now.
I mean, that's how close we could be. This has been a hard forward set completely from start to finish. But Avian, they were, you know, looking a map down at the start. We thought perhaps it could have gone the other way, but they're looking so good right now. And like you said, it's because I think mainly it is Pit. You know, Pit is doing a huge amount of work here just to make sure he is getting the frags, he's getting the damage where and when he needs to. But also at the same time, I think Brick's movement, Brick's ability to secure the soul in some of these crazy situations has been crucial. But bot mode dying there means he's not really going to be well equipped to contest the soul when it respawns.
Yeah, the second you kind of reach that 5-second mark when the soul's about to spawn, that's pretty much the worst time to go down. You're not really going to be able to input anything towards the fight. Bot mode attempts to move forward, but he's just stuck between a rock and a hard place. And now he's going to have to waste a little bit of time. Does he pile towards A? Looking likely like he's going to try and do that. Taking a lot of damage along the way. And there's the drop-off.
Right, the Obelisk B activated already for Totem Tellies. Let's see what they want to go for. Effortless having the quad damage. I mean, and he has got the LG too. Soul is already moving. Oh no, watch a bit of a fumble pass.
Gonna be stuck for quite a while, actually. A little bit risky to take it too. I don't think Effortless was really wanting to take that.
Right now, all of them are dead. This is the time to capture the obelisk. He needs to go immediately.
They know it. He's gonna get a little bit about just over 100 health for that one. Quad damage did a great job of securing that. Oh, is unable to trade. You know who's gonna look for the trade in that situation to at least just remove the Sorlag from that fight.
Oh no, but Effortless getting that after death kill with that acid. Avian still in the lead, managing to use their time of having the quad damage to good use. And Pit is there ready to pick it up. There we go.
They piled in heavily into that fight. We saw a Berserk right there. We saw Sorlag come up. Oh!
Effortless just nailing everyone in his path with super nail gun from a distance. So much deceiving damage if you can get a good sequence of them.
I mean, if they don't know it's coming around the corner and they walk around the corner directly into it, I mean, before you've taken 3 of them, that's already 60 damage outright.
Bot mode. Again, Pit just getting those crucial frags, missing a rail. Okay, this is bad. Totem Tellies, they have a lot of people around here now. This could be very dangerous. Sanas is getting a nice kill. C-Cap as well with the frags. Another one too. They are just cleaning up this point completely.
That was a fantastic fight in their favor. But I think the thing is, it just goes back to when you win a fight and you're able to then try and take the soul back to your obelisk, forcing the respawn. You know, the enemy team is actually likely to respawn closer to your obelisk than you will.
Wonderful rail. Wonderful rail there.
And it goes back to what we just talked about. The fact they lost that team fight, sure. They lost that group fight near the obelisk, but at the same time, they're going to spawn close to the other obelisk regardless. They're going to get at least one weapon they can use to get the job done. In that case, it was obviously a railgun.
Unfortunately, the Totem Tellies, they weren't able to use that time to build any percentage, but now the power-up is going to be up soon. This power-up is going to be incredibly important for dictating what happens now, but Sanas gets the protection. Pops the Berserk too. Hasn't really got much off it yet, but the important thing is he has the power-up. That is by far the most important thing here.
But that was just a nice display of patience, you know, bot mode waiting for Sanas to go in. In fact, actually, I think the entire team really waiting for Sanas to be nearby with that protection. So if they prioritize him, obviously the rest of them will output that damage for free. He has the soul, but not without taking a ton of damage in the process, but he gets a triple kill, looking to make it a quad.
Oh, the entire team's dead. Might not have got the 4th kill, but the important thing is they are nowhere to be seen. But they're already on respawn here, en masse, trying to get this soul back. And Totem Tellies building up on that percentage. Only have, I mean, we can see, right, 15% so far. That's nowhere near what Avian have, but this is the start.
You can definitely say that the protection served its purpose right there. Like, I mean, it pretty much just served that job of just get the soul away, bring it to us. We don't necessarily need this percentage to start climbing, but it just needs to be nowhere near them.
They couldn't really hold on to it, though. That is one of the most important things here. Avian were almost as immediately they were able to take it back.
But that's a fantastic position for Avian. They're 1 round up already, so...
Brick, he didn't even try and fight that. He ignored everyone, just concentrating fully on capturing. But there we go, there's that plasma trail coming in. Misses the throw into the corridor!
Oh, no!
Does it still move out? Does it work? Okay, got it this time, but died for it. Kane trying to get through, using the teleporter. Nice, just juking everyone in his path, but he has someone immediately, but bot mode is there, saving Kane, letting him capture.
Like, even if bot mode didn't get that rail, I kind of feel like Kane actually was in line to land that shot. Just look at the health. Totem Tellies, quite weak. I heard a Berserk mode. Here he comes.
Cycle gonna fall. Soul still being taken. Brick has it, trying to get through safely, but just a sea of enemies in his way.
I think Brick is more likely to have a little bit of trouble trying to sort of take that soul back and almost like deceive the other team. He was doing that consistently earlier on throughout the series, but on this map, I think there's just less chances to do that.
Oh, that was so well played by Sanas. As soon as his opponent actually went to take up the quad damage, he was able to kill him immediately. But C-Cap has it too. The suicide, tactically passing it to his teammate. Brick killing him from below and picking it up below. And
there
look at this team wipe completely. Off the face of the earth they go. And Brick now looking to bring this back with what little quad remains.
But because he took them all out at the same time, they spawned at the same time, which allowed them to pile in towards Obelisk A at the same time. But the issue was, there was still quad left to go. Minimal percentage was climbed before Sanas was able to at least get it back.
Dropping it off now. About half the progress made. A lot to make up for. Effortless getting a lot of frags. Coming in with a partner. Coming in with that gauntlet too. Kane really just making that damage count.
Oh, using that Berserk just to sneak in there. Unlikely to get out alive. Oh, yeah, definitely. A worthy attempt, I think.
throwing the soul directly into the sky, I think, just trying to save some time. Effortless drops.
Another long round too, 6 minutes in. That's normally like a conventional round for any other day of the week, I suppose, but it's been so back and forth. 63% versus 50%. I mean, could we really expect anything less? Every single map and round has gone the same way. Oh!
Now, they did kill Brick and Effortless, but they're able to at least stall the time a few seconds. So Avian do still have the lead, but they're really struggling to get this one back, and the power-up isn't going to be up for another 20 seconds or so. Let's do this the old-fashioned way.
I mean, piling in one at a time, that's not going to help you out too much. On top of the fact that you're dying one at a time, your respawns will be inconsistent. So piling into the point together is going to be very difficult.
Oh, wow. Pick just got deleted there. Nothing we need to say about it. Effortless soon to follow. Brick here, you can see them really trying to fight for this power-up, trying to get it as much as they can. It's protection, and Avian have it. Brick is holding protection. If they can bring this back now, they need Brick to get in there. Yes, this team too. They are here as a unit, but can he make his way back? That's the point.
Yeah, they haven't even tried to stop him.
Well, he just ran out of lightning gun ammo too. He has a railgun and a shotgun.
I think their goal there, I think, was actually to try and fight in the middle of the map. They didn't really want to pile in towards this obelisk, because there really was no one here, with the exception of obviously one player, but that's not going to be enough to stop an Anarchy with protection. All they've got to do is hold it off for a small amount of time, and they're easily going to tie things up. Brick with the Mega as well.
Still though, 25% left for Avian. They are somewhat behind at the moment, but they are on match point. If they win this round, they are going to be moving into grand finals. And Totem Tellies did a great job bringing it back slowly but surely, but just like this, they're falling one at a time.
There's the injection, but no! Even after he pops the injection, he goes down. That could be the final injection he's going to get access to. Kane soon to follow.
10% left. Brick has a lightning gun now. Telly sort of went out trying to get it. Trying to defend a little bit further out, but the soul has been taken away. Immediately dropped in again, but that interruption, that few seconds to pause them, might be everything they need, but still they're dying one at a time.
But they're in a situation where they have to pile in one at a time, and it's not going to be enough. Avian managed to secure the win, and after by far our longest series of the day, Avian walk away the victors for this, and they are going to be in grand finals, loser side. That was a hard-fought match, but they still have one series left to go.
They do, and that's against the team in the North American bracket that are yet to lose a match, yet to lose a series and drop down to that point themselves. We're going to be going into grand finals very, very soon, where it's going to be, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, right? It could be close, could be a wash. We'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be Avian versus
Modus Operandi.
Modus Operandi. I don't know how the name just escaped me for a second.
Don't worry,
said it.
the long series fried my brain